So all this talk about black dandyism, and I'm doing this piece, I'm writing this piece on a bunch of the elite black people in the United States of America back in the day. But just thinking about black dandyism really got me going back to something that I spoke about originally, which is the Washington Colored 400. Okay. And that was the group of elite black people in Washington, D.C. When I say elite, these people were super, super duper rich. Okay. Super duper rich. One of them was the Wormleys, and he owned the Wormley Hotel. This man was super rich. He owned a racetrack. I mean, yeah, black American. Owned a racetrack. He owned acres and acres of land. He used all the money. The wealthy white elite and politicians would go to his hotel and everything. I mean, he had the most expensive hotel in Washington, D.C., and he was known across the country. James Wormley, okay? I wrote about him. Check it out on blackentrepreneur.history.com. But yeah, but back to the Washington Colored 400. The thing that sticks out to me about this elite class of black Americans, both men and women, they really tried to set this big standard. First of all, they were so elite. You know how everybody has different classes. It wasn't Black people were not a monolith back then. I know that's what people try and make people believe, but no, they were rich folk. Okay, I mean really rich folk. I mean a lot of the Black Americans back then who were of the rich class had white servants. Yes, they did. Okay, but this Washington 400 colored 400, they really set things up for the black community. They were elite, but they were like, all the money we're getting, all the money that we have, we're going to put it into the black community and build it up. Because this was right after, black people were really getting themselves set up at this time, right? But you know what happened to the Washington Colored 400 group? Because they were actually called the Black Aristocracy. Yes, there was the black aristocracy here in the United States of America. Okay, they were the elite of Black America. And when I say Black America, that's what I mean because it was segregation. Black America during segregation was growing at such a rapid pace, and as soon as integration hit, it went downhill. Like for real. And a lot of people, some of the people of the Washington Colored 400 was actually pushing for integration. And then after every that made everything crumble, it was only then that they say, "Oh, we messed up." Because a lot of people started moving away, and a lot of people, because once everything is integrated, you don't have to stay in this particular area, right? Because everything black people needed, every business, when I'm talking doctors, lawyers, real estate investors, banking, everything, hotel, everything that you have in an integrated society, you had in that segregated society, but it was all black. Okay? All black. And it was messed up by integration. And this really devastated. And that's what happened to the Washington Colored 400. They were no longer the Washington Colored 400. Then we had the civil rights movement came in to play and all that other things, and it died. Like all that, because there were new people coming in. They wanted to see a new thing happen, and they pushed the old thing out. Now, one of the things about the Washington Colored 400 is that they always wanted to make a distinction, right, between black people, black Americans, and not a stereotypical like the kind that white people always wanted to showcase, okay, as a criminal or something like that. So they would always make sure that number one, they prided themselves on every single good thing in life, right? Every single good thing in life. And they also wanted to have money, okay? But they pride themselves on education, charity, doing all those things, looking nice, doing all the stuff that you would want, raise your child to be successful, right? And the one thing they really did not tolerate was criminal behavior. And they would set themselves apart from it. Do not, that was one thing. Do not equate black with criminal, because that's what white people want to do forever. Even today, if you say black, they think criminal. And so that's the one thing that the Washington Colored 400 did establish. They actually established that. Yeah, black dandyism has me thinking about all this stuff I'm writing about. It's dope.